Well, it appears that we're still spending more time at home than normal, and you know what? There's still plenty of shit for our eyeballs to consume on that wonderful imagination box. For those of you still wondering if I've watched The Platform or Ozark yet, no. Still haven't watched them yet. Someday. I have, however, watched a bunch more random shit that I'd be happy to talk about. So here it is. What you been watching? A rapid fire rundown. Part 2, Extraction. If you've been hungry for some punching, bone-breaking, car-chasing action, watch this movie. Simple plot. Chris Hemsworth is a badass that's hired to rescue the son of a drug lord. And go! This movie was directed by Sam Hargrave. He is a stuntman turned director. He's worked as a stunt coordinator for some of the biggest movies ever, and he's not fucking around. This is the best action movie that I've seen in a long time. Long time. This movie is filmed from the perspective of a stuntman, so you feel every punch. And you aren't able just to watch the action because you're directly in it. Sweet movie. Seberg. This movie caught my attention because I thought the story was intriguing. Based on actual events in the 60s, actress Jean Seberg joins the civil rights movement and gets involved with the Black Panthers. Unfortunately, this movie was so bad that I had to turn it off after 45 minutes. I'm down to watch almost anything, and very rarely do I not finish a movie, but this was just horseshit. It's as simple as that. Writing, acting, directing, horseshit. Social Network? I haven't seen this movie in like 7 years, so I decided to rewatch it, and wow. This movie is so well made that I get sick thinking about it. When you take one of the best writers alive and team them up with one of the best directors alive, you get The Social Network. It won 3 Oscars, and 2 of those were for Best Writing and Best Editing. And the way that this movie is edited is unfucking real. David Fincher sets up 3 separate scenes to convey one conversation from multiple perspectives. What? They'll take one sentence of dialogue and break it up amongst multiple locations, with different actors talking, alternating words, and somehow it's flawless. It's unreal how good this movie is. It's definitely worth a rewatch. Have a good trip. Adventures in Psychedelics. This is a fun Netflix documentary where celebrities tell stories about tripping on drugs. I thought it was hilarious, and I was really surprised at who actually showed up in this documentary. The fact that there are multiple celebrities telling you the rules of tripping on acid to not have a bad trip is really funny. It was good shit, I liked it. Dog Soldiers! This one popped up on my Prime Video, and after the fact I found out that this movie's got a cult following because it's very good. It's a low-budget werewolf horror movie that takes place in the woods in a house. It's a group of soldiers being hunted by a group of wolves, and they have to rely on their military training and survival skills to live till morning. For a low-budget 2002 horror movie, I thought the practical effects were surprisingly effective, and the gore was great. It's one of the best werewolf movies I've ever seen, possibly the best. A Million Ways to Die in the West. I know I've seen this one before, but I didn't remember anything about it, and I was down for a silly goose time, so I threw it on. This movie is stupid.
Ow!
Like, obnoxiously stupid.
Okay, everybody hold still. Holy shit! Hold still!
But I guarantee, at some point, it's gonna make you laugh.
Ow!
I can't explain why it's funny sometimes, it just is. Like, this part made me laugh for 10 minutes straight. Stupid, but funny. I watched 2 more documentaries about the Alien franchise. That makes 4 total documentaries I've watched about this franchise. 3 hours each. Why so much Alien, you ask? Because I made a video about an Alien movie idea that I had. Link in description. And I wanted to be as knowledgeable as possible on the Alien franchise itself. And at this point in time, I'm probably the most knowledgeable person on the Alien franchise on Earth. One of them was about the making of Alien 3, and this one was interesting because you got to see what it's like for a movie studio to interfere with a director's vision and how frustrating that can be. And that director that the movie studio wouldn't leave alone was David fucking Fincher. Alien 3 didn't turn out that great, and it's been debated for many, many years. Just let David fucking Fincher make a David Fincher Alien movie, and you will get Oscars. Those assholes. The other documentary was about the making of Alien Resurrection. It's probably the worst of the 4 core Alien movies, but looking back at it now, it's got this like late 90s charm that you just can't replicate anymore. The documentary itself was fine. It was interesting seeing Sigourney Weaver come back after so many years and her take on everything Alien. And that's it for me for the Alien franchise. I think I'm done with all that shit for the foreseeable future. Probably. Speaking of late 90s charm, can't hardly wait. I've always loved this movie, since the late 90s. It's one of my favorite teen coming-of-age movies. It's got that unrealistic high school party full of horny teens that are played by people in their mid-20s. And I gotta say, a killer 90s soundtrack. Just the trailer for this movie has 2 Third Eye Blind songs. Plus, the nice guy gets the girl in the end. Can't hardly wait. Fuck yeah. The Michelle Obama documentary. Hey, if you're looking to be inspired, buckle up, because Michelle Obama's going on tour. In this Netflix doc, she reflects on her life and her marriage and overcoming adversity, and she's just an inspiration. Very inspirational lady. Pretty funny too. Waco! This is a 6-part miniseries that covers the disaster that happened in Waco, Texas in 1993. Some poor decisions and some bullshit leads to a 51-day standoff between a cult and the FBI. I was really into this series. It's such a tragic story and such a disgraceful moment in history for the FBI. It's a crazy story. So tragic. Definitely worth watching for sure. Check it out. Blade of the Immortal. This is one of those movies where I saw the opportunity to watch it and I thought, why the fuck not? And I am so happy that I did. It's about a samurai that cannot die because he's filled with magical bloodworms. Okay. And he decided to help a young lady get revenge on the people that killed her family. The first 2/3 of this movie went pretty much as expected with gratuitous amounts of sword fights and blood. But then the last third of the movie completely subverted my expectations and I got so into it. It's a really cool movie and I loved it. There are a few subtitles, so be mindful of that. The Immortal guy, Manji, he would do this thing where he would throw all his weapons into the ground out of nowhere, and every time he did that, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. People about to get fucked up. Bleed for this. Miles Teller plays champion boxer Vinny Pedienda. This is a true story. The first 45 minutes, I didn't really know where the story was going because we start out with him as a champion. But eventually I figured out that this is a comeback story. Oh. I wish the story was executed better. I think it could have been a very good movie, but it just turned out okay. It's an okay movie. The story is great. Just could have been a better movie. It's okay. Little Women. It's the classic tale of 4 sisters living their best life. Greta Gerwig directed this movie, and I think she is a very talented director. I just didn't see much of her talent in this movie. I thought her previous movie, Lady Bird, was much better than this movie. But I don't know how you take a movie that's already been made 5 times and do something that different. By my count, this is the 6th Little Women movie. All the same story. I did like it, I just didn't think it deserved to be nominated for Best Picture last year. You know? It's good. It's just not that good. Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen. Solar opposites. Aliens have to escape their dying world. They are issued 1 pupa, and they're sent to find a new planet to start a new civilization. And unfortunately, this group of aliens landed on Earth. This is an 8-episode first season. It's stupid and clever, and honestly, I laughed more at this show than anything else in a while. My favorite part of this show is one of the alien children likes shrinking humans and putting them in his own rat maze in his wall. And all these tiny humans create their own society in this like post-apocalyptic side story of the show. I loved every bit of that. It's a hilarious show overall. It's worth checking out. And then there's the shit that I'm currently watching. I started the show Hunter x Hunter, or is it Hunter x Hunter? I don't know. Somebody please tell me, because I'm confused. I'm sorry. I like this show, but I only just started really getting into it, and I'm 90 episodes in. It really is a roller coaster of a show that takes its time. I'm probably gonna make a video about it, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. The other show that I'm watching daily that I've become slightly obsessed with is Shark Tank. Shark Tank has become a bit of a priority in my life, and it's a problem. And until I overcome this Shark Tank addiction, I just won't have any time to commit to Ozark or The Platform. So for that reason, I'm out.